There are two trends that we talk about in every single meeting. Reconciliation, or data completeness, or data governance, making sure that your trade surveillance systems have a complete set of data from your trading systems. And that's been a real focus of the regulators. They've fined large firms multi-billion dollars, existential level fines, for not having complete sets of data in their trade surveillance systems. And like every other industry, every place on the planet, AI is also a common theme that we're talking about. The idea and the discussion is really the right use cases to use these types of technologies.
What trends are you seeing in crypto venue adoption of trade surveillance solutions?
The interest is driven primarily by two factors. So it's either regulatory demand or business cases. In crypto, we're seeing both. So you do have a set of firms that want to expand the asset class, and for that they need to adopt better, resilient, transparent, safer markets so that institutional investors want to come, and so that they're doing it for a business reason. And then you have regulatory mandates, and there's a big set of regulations in Europe called MiCA, and that's also driving crypto firms to adopt trade surveillance like Eventus.
Are you on the same page as your clients with AI?
So we're in listening mode in a lot of times, trying to figure out where they want to be. And all they hear about is they have AI mandates internally, and so that they need to use these technologies. And a lot of times where we are coming from is you don't want to put yourself in positions to not explain what the machines are doing. And we've been very deliberate about our use of these technologies since we started. We've been using machine learning for years to help a certain piece of the process in trade surveillance. And we did that because we cannot put our clients in a position to where they can't explain what happened at the machine 6 months ago. And that's really compliance, as you are trying to explain what you did and what actions you took in arrears. And so AI is no different. And so do you have the right use cases to apply these types of technologies to? And we know that they're really useful in a lot of different ways, but we want to make sure that we are positioning our clients to use them at their maximum and not put them in a position of inexplainability. Where we think AI is really interesting is workflows. So if I'm doing the same thing every day, closing out the alerts, doing these specific processes, let's have the machine do some of that lifting and do some of that workflow. Or if you don't rely on the human person to kind of turn and parameterize and calibrate the models, let's have the AI do that, and so that you can test more and kind of widen the search space a little bit more and have the machine do that lifting.
How are you adapting trade surveillance due to shifts in regulatory enforcement?
In order for you to be able to respond to, again, these two driving macro factors, either where the business wants to take their business or the regulatory environment and the new regulations coming in, you have to have a platform that has the nimbleness and flexibility to either add new procedures, add new asset classes, add different ways of looking at the data, add data governance controls, whatever that is that's being driven either by the business or by regulators. You need to have kind of that flexibility in that platform. And that's really where we spend a ton of time in the construction of our system, is to make sure it has those flexible knobs so that you can be responsive. You know, you had kind of these monolithic systems that were hard to parameterize, hard to calibrate, that just does not keep up with the environment. And so that's really, we want to make sure that our clients are focused in that area.
How will the upcoming EU crypto regulation affect the market?
Cryptos have a philosophical bent to them. They're kind of tribalistic in the nature, in the fact that you have a group of participants that want to expand that asset class and grow it, and then you have a group of participants that are not interested in that. And so I think that bifurcation is going to increase, actually, with MiCA, for instance, as you have firms that are going to be proactive in adopting MiCA because they want to expand the asset class, and then those firms that are not going to because they either don't feel like they need to or they have a different business model and it doesn't matter to them. It's going to drive maybe volumes differently. So you have those two different firms doing things. You have firms that are really investing in these platforms that will attract and hopefully expand the pie, especially on the institutional side, to where the overall asset class will grow.
What capabilities are important for trade surveillance and market risk monitoring systems?
I go back to that nimbleness and flexibility, and I go back to those operational controls about data governance. You really have to have the infrastructure to make sure that the data that is happening around your business is all getting into your trade surveillance system. And if you don't, you're really putting yourself in the crosshairs of the regulators. And so sprinkling in some AI, because there is a lot of good use cases for that, but making sure you're doing it in a deliberate and appropriate way based off your business. Those are the, kind of the four criteria or four areas I would think are important.
What technologies will be coming next year?
AI is going to change everything. And so self-servicing is a good example. How do we enable our clients to run faster than what we can? And so can AI enable them to write their own procedures, to test, to sandbox better, to QA their system better, to parameterize and calibrate their system better? And it can, and do workflows. And so all of those different areas that you have to throw a lot of humans at today, you're going to be able to use your existing teams and lever AI to expand that. And so it really is a huge change, like every other industry business out there, and that will be something that will manifest itself over the next several years. So we're excited about it, and you just got to make sure you do it safely.